I would just say, you people suck.
You can do that. You can actually do that. If you want to speak. Oh, yeah, that's it. You don't need to put all that in there. Okay. Are you going to speak?
Yeah, is that all I, do I have to put other stuff I want to talk about?
I'll put it away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's okay.
Hey, we're not having special pickups. Very nice. You said I'll pick it up with the reading stores.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I guess we gotta read what it says. Everybody's signing in, so I have no idea.
If I had my hair.
No attendance sheet. Oh, it says wishing.
To address the board.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't need to address the board. I was trying to get your attention earlier. How are you?
Want to know what the result of the review was.
There you go, ma'am.
The meeting hasn't started.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what this is? I have no idea. I don't know what I need this for.
What about?
That was fun. Item numbers. Do we have an item number on this? Bonding. 10? Okay. Not really, yeah, I'll definitely do that too. That's okay, I checked the not on the agenda.
I need 2 copies.
I got, yeah. Oh, 2 hours. I got the other one.
And the second signature needs to be.
Okay. Well, I got 2 copies.
Okay.
We did it.
Except water. But water. If she has them. Yeah.
Send me 4 people.
All 4 individual. My bad. Luckily. It really didn't take long. But it'd have been cool if I didn't have.
So Cynthia, you might just make it
I'm sorry. Future me.
4, 6, 8, 10.
Have a sign sheet over there. They already took the sign out.
We may not need to get to you because we only have 30 minutes.
So the board, I'll make an announcement. Thank you.
Madam President, may I move this up so there's more room for people to sit? Chris, may I move this up so there's more people to sit?
David, it goes in that line right there.
May I move this up, Chris, so more people can sit? It's a reasonable ask that we move this up so.
You can move it up another foot from where it is.
Is that okay? Does that suffice?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It is now 5:31. David, your phone? They do have this phone? Okay. It is now 5:31. Today is February 18th, 2026. Before we start, I am going to say that there'll be no outbursts tonight. They will not be tolerated. You've been asked once that this is the only warning that we'll have. That is with the Roberts Rules of Decorum. But we are going to stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance first.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have a moment of silence.
Folks, there's overflow of chairs in here if you'd like to sit down.
Nicole?
little thing they can
Oh,
put
she
on
does
the
it all the time. This is not her first. She does them all the time. Please stay for the whole meeting.
bothers me that that happens.
Just tell her to stop. That's what you need to say is you're tired of the junk and you're going.
Well, I was gonna see if we could slide. It is what it is.
Let me make that. So before we start the public comment period, which kicks off the agenda tonight, the board last year adopted a policy on public comments, limiting the amount of time each speaker could have to 2 minutes. It also limited a total time that the board can spend on public comments for 30 minutes. Of course, it's the board's discretion if it goes over, but it's a 30-minute cap. The board, at its discretion, if multiple people come up to discuss one topic, if the topic becomes getting repetitive, the board can, at its discretion, essentially ask you to step aside and they can add that item onto the next agenda as a discussion point. We're trying to get everybody who's signed up an opportunity to speak. We want everybody to be heard. So if you do notice that the item that you wanted to speak of has come up and it's already been discussed, and it's your turn to speak, feel free to do it and be at the discretion of the board, or make a comment that your comment is essentially the same as this other person's comment. You would like the minutes to reflect that you're here for that purpose. Also, you can email me or the board at any time with your thoughts, feelings, or public comments as well, and we'll make sure to address it, and you will get an answer from the board. So just, I just wanted to bring that up because there are a lot of people here. We have a busy agenda, so I want to make sure everybody gets heard. So I'm just trying to keep everything going. So I'm going to turn it back over to Director Jones and the board.
Okay, first up, and I want to say that it's Tom Suffield.
Yes.
And you're at.
Excuse me. My name is Tom Suffield. I live at 1905 Petunia in Andersonville West. We've been there for 38 years. I have just some general comments to make. I am not interested in that splash pad. I don't think that there's a need for it in our community. I try to watch your meetings at home. It's very hard for me to get through those meetings. There's so much contention among the commissioners and the people that are here. And I don't know that you really realize the impact that has on people who are residents. I feel that you were elected. You're elected so that you serve the people and not self-serve. In this contention and this warfare that goes on, that's not conducive to a community that I want to live in. So those are my comments.
Thank you. Oh, Tina. That looks like a you at the end. Tina. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. No matter what you have to say tonight, we appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to hear your voices and what you have to say. I'd like to address the ongoing lawsuit and recent statements made by Kelly Masters on Nextdoor. In her post, she labeled us as troublemakers and suggested we somehow asked for this lawsuit. Let me be absolutely clear. I am not a troublemaker. I am a resident exercising my constitutional rights. The only thing I am guilty of is attending public meetings, supporting my husband, a sitting board member, and supporting Linda Fobb's right to speak freely. That is it. I am being sued for misconduct, not for violence, and not for any lawful violation, but for having a different opinion. And let me state unequivocally, there has never been, nor will there ever be, any assault or wrongdoing on my part. When disagreement turns into litigation, that is not governance, that is retaliation. Ms. Masters also suggested that we be trespassed from this property. What she omitted is that a judge denied this request from the MUD board, both a temporary restraining order and a permanent injunction. Why? Because this is public property. Because the First Amendment protects the right to attend, speak, and petition government officials. Last month, Hanoia Villa described this lawsuit as a success.
Let's talk about what that success looks like. A judge ordered them to pay approximately $120,000 in our legal fees. If losing in court and paying six figures to residents is considered success, the public deserves better leadership. And for those who are new here, you will likely hear a rebuttal. Listen carefully, then compare words to actions. There is a documented pattern of aggressive, repeated litigation from Hanoi Avila to multiple other defendants. That is not strength, that is litigious behavior. Public records in Williamson County are available to anyone who wishes to review them. This is not about being troublemakers, it is about residents standing firm in their constitutional rights, even when it makes those in power uncomfortable. Thank you.
Okay, and I apologize, I can't tell if this is an H or an N. Natty, is that correct?
Yes.
Sorry, and how do you say your last name?
Taniyuki.
One more time?
Taniyuki.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Hi, I'm Maddie Taniyuki. I live at 2708 Ashton Pass. And I just wanted to say, I've just been doing a little bit of research, and I believe that there's a $5 million bond being approved or being reviewed. And because I don't really want any more taxes, or I don't think we should have to pay more taxes, I don't want, that's what I came here to listen to and to see what's going on. So maybe I'll learn more tonight. Thank you.
Okay, Paul? Paul?
She just spoke for me.
Okay. I have a couple people. Constable Corey Ann James.
I'm Corinne Costabile. I'm an original owner in Lakeline Oaks over 30 years. And I am very against, my husband and I are very against the bond and also the splash pad. And we don't want our taxes to go up any higher. And that's just, the splash pad's unnecessary and it could cause a lot of harm actually. And more lawsuits.
Linda? She's on item number 10.
Today is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent for many in our community, a season rooted in reflection, humility, and accountability. Across faith traditions, there is a clear command: do not bear false witness, not because it's impolite, but because it destroys communities. Lies erode trust, half-truths damage reputations, and weaponized accusations have a way of circling back to those who launched them. 4 members of this board filed a lawsuit against residents who spoke up, residents who attend meetings, make public comments, and publish public records. The remedy they sought was simple: silence them. Stop coming, stop speaking, stop writing, stop questioning. In other words, stop overseeing our own government. The court denied those requests because the First Amendment still protects free speech, assembly, and the right to petition your government. Those are not nuisances, those are constitutional protections. Hundreds of thousands of dollars later, money that was never budgeted and belongs to this community, we are still dealing with this litigation. Now the proposal is to obligate this district to long-term bond debt, freeing up tax revenue to continue funding personal lawsuits. After the district's claims were dismissed with prejudice, new personal allegations were introduced, claims that remain untethered to credible facts, and yet public funds are still being used to pursue them. You cannot sue your way into trust, you cannot intimidate your way into respect, and you cannot litigate your way into legitimacy. The solution does not require a courtroom. Govern transparently, follow the law, respect your constituents. Do better, and there will be nothing left to fight about.
Gus?
My name is Gus Benavides. I'd like to address the MUD Board to highlight that the primary mission of the MUD is to ensure safe, consistent delivery of water to the MUD's residents. The Board should not expose the MUD and its residents to additional costs or potential liability for projects outside the primary mission of delivering water. The Board has a responsibility for transparent management of finite resources, to budget responsibly, and be good stewards with the residents' money. We are opposed to new bonds and spending on special projects that are not aligned with the primary mission of the MUD. Litigation costs the MUD and its residents over $300,000 in legal fees, which demonstrates a lack of good stewardship and managerial immaturity. I would ask the Board halt further litigation and costs and focus on austerity measures to ensure the primary mission of the MUD can be achieved within our budget. Thank you.
Tom? Ayers?
Wrong guy. Wrong guy.
Tom?
We can talk at the same time. No. I'm of a differing opinion. I believe the MUD does a great job. I appreciate it. I get things like this stuck on my property. It's been happening for years, and I'm so tired of it. I read them. I do my work. I go to the MUD site. I read what the MUD's responsible for, and I get so much misinformation from these things. Now, there may be a bond election, and it may pay for some things that some people don't like, but I bet there's hundreds of families that would love a splash pad. As an adult, I will make my own decision. I will go to the polls this fall, and I will either vote for or against the bond. That's how you do it. But I do know the bond. I do know that the MUD is responsible for a whole lot more than just water. They are responsible for every last thing that happens in the MUD. The parks and the sewers and the police, everything, and there's got to be money for that. It's not what is on here. This is political. I know this is political. This is somebody trying to get themselves elected to the board, and that's why these things keep appearing on my house, and I don't ever want to see them again.
Sir, I just want to clarify something.
I'm not going to give you my address. I know you are.
Order.
I'd just like to make a comment.
No, we're not making comments, David.
I'm trying to sit back in.
I know he does comments every meeting.
Point of order, we can make comments again.
And there will be no more outbursts, you will be asked to leave.
Just misinformation needs to be
Point
clarified.
of order, Madam President.
You will leave next. Evangeline, Church.
Yes, I disagree with what he just said, but the ones before I definitely agree with. I don't think the district needs to borrow any more money. We don't need our taxes going up at all. You have, excuse me? There are plenty of seasoned individuals in this community that have fixed incomes who don't need anything else taken from them. And you should think about that before you pass or do anything like that.
Brian and Anna.
No comment.
We agree with everybody except for one.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Don't support the splash pad and the thing going on.
Tom V.
Thank you.
Thank you for hearing me. Tom Vasic, 2902 Cashelwood Drive. I don't support bonding except for like real emergencies, and the lawsuit is not a real emergency. You planned this, okay? You knew it could happen. The second thing, don't do a splash pad. I got a potential client here. We won't use it. It's just too inconvenient. And the last one is, I want to talk a little bit more about the lawsuit. You guys should all resign. Approving that was the worst decision. Well, not all. Not all of you agreed with it. I know that. But the people who were in favor of that lawsuit and went forward with it, You got slapped down once in, was it July, August? Slapped down again in September? It's time to stop. And going forward, let me give you some advice. There's these things called jury consultants. You can hire them. Assemble a jury. You can make your case. If you lose, you better stop, right? You don't need to go and meet your real fate in front of a jury only to lose, because you would predict it in advance. It's real easy. But I predict you're going to lose. And if you want to, know how I read the horsehair, hairballs, I can tell you, but I don't need to get into that. So my advice would be, walk away. It's okay. You can admit defeat, save the board district some money, and give everyone their life back. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Cynthia. I'm Cynthia Kimball. I'm a resident of the MUD, and I'm also the president of Lakeline Oaks HOA. So I come to talk personally as a homeowner, but also a few things about our community. I just want to make my voice heard. I, as a resident, am not in favor of the bonds that are 25 years old to be repurposed. They don't have to be voted on by us. They've already applied for the bond. So it's done. They've applied, they're applying, present participle, whatever. It's moving. They don't need our vote. That's the point. So it's all in the hands of these people here. And I'm so glad to see people come out, because I pay taxes just like you. If your house is more expensive, you pay more taxes. I'm going to stop you. Are you speaking
No, that's okay.
Are you speaking
No, that's,
to the
I'm
board,
sorry.
or are you speaking to the audience?
Excuse me, these are my 2 minutes, and I'd like my 2 minutes. So please respect me, Beth Jones, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'd also like to talk about Lakeline Oaks. We've been excluded from some amenities and services that everyone else on the MUD is getting. For almost 1 year, right? It's like, what? How can that be? Exactly. For a year, we've been trying to communicate with this board. I got a stack this thick. They put the attorneys on us to try to work it out instead of just having conversations and working. Actually, they did a little bit with our management company, but they stopped, and then they went to the attorney. So a year of nothing. They're spending more of your tax dollars and your tax dollars and your tax dollars to not just cooperate and coordinate. That's what we're talking about. And it's all silly, right? It's just about the water. We don't want to be like the Potomac today with 287,000 billion gallons or whatever falling out. But we did have poo run down the street. So we don't want that. It's all about the water. Thank you.
Tom.
Tom Barrow here, just step behind. Assistant device.
Good evening. I'm here to encourage the board to keep electronic meter installation as a top district priority. These meters benefit both residents and the district. They are more reliable, detect leaks early, and give customers better information about their water use. But the biggest benefit is operational. They are much easier and less expensive to read. The district began this program in 2018, and only about a third of homes have electronic meters today. At that pace, some of the earliest devices will be nearing the end of their battery life before the system is fully deployed. Each installation includes 2 sealed batteries, the E-Series meter, rated around 20 years, and the cellular endpoint, around 15 to 20 years. When those batteries fail, the units must be replaced. In July 2025, a plan was discussed to install about 100 meters per month. That is a practical target, but funding for that pace appears to have slipped. Financially, the main reason utilities adopt these systems is to reduce meter reading costs. Major studies, including WSSC Water's AMI analysis, show payback in about 10 to 15 years when those savings are captured. But that only works if the district actually reduces reading costs in its operator contract. So I respectfully suggest 3 actions. 1, negotiate the operator agreement so meter reading savings are passed through to the district. 2, recommit to installing 100 meters per month in budget for it. 3, prioritize this core infrastructure project before optional projects, such as the splash pad. Finishing the meter system on a reasonable timeline will help the district realize the benefits it was designed to deliver. Thank you.
Kelly.
Hey guys, I'm Kelly Masters. I am a property owner and taxpayer of this district. I've paid taxes to this district every year for the last 26 years. You guys, it's time to drop the lawsuit. I know you're going to lose. I've sat in on most of the hearings that you've had. I can tell you the judge thinks you're going to lose. He doesn't like this case. He's dropping hints for you like crazy, and you should be listening to them. You know who also knows you're going to lose is your opposing counsel? He's probably got champagne running from his water fountains in his office right now. He knows he's got a blank check written by the taxpayers of this district to keep funding however many hundreds of hours he wants to pour into this, because he knows that the remaining causes of action are so weak. You are going to lose. It doesn't matter how much more money you spend. Some of you know that I work in family law, and something we say a lot about people who come to us is that this person has a lot more legal trouble than they have money. And in this case, the opposite is true. You have trouble, but you don't have legal trouble. You have no case, but you have unlimited funds, it seems, to spend on it. So I'd like to ask you, maybe not tonight in the meeting, but maybe when you go home, think about your remaining causes of action. Think about what's happened so far in this case, and then ask yourself, if you were having to write these legal bills, these fees out of your personal checking account, would you continue to pursue this lawsuit? Thank you.
Okay, one left. Go ahead.
Good job.
Okay. Okay. You ready? Go ahead. Everybody got to speak.
I got the last 2 minutes of the meeting. My name's Steve Bernardczyk. I live here as well as everybody else does, otherwise they wouldn't bother to come. And I wanted to touch on a couple of things I just heard. There was a quote made to the Christian beginning of Lent, and one very important thing was left out, and that seems to be the pattern in everything going on here. Is there's a little bit of detail here and a little bit of detail there, but all the pieces really aren't there. It's like a puzzle box, 1,000 pieces, and there's only 600 in the box, and we're supposed to make it work, right? The number one thing for those Christians who celebrate Lent is repentance. Repentance says, I have to do a couple of things. I have to acknowledge when I've done something wrong. I have to ask for forgiveness for the person that I did it to, and I have to commit to not doing it again. And that's the same thing I tasked the board with, and I tasked my fellow homeowners with. None of us want a lot of what we've heard today, but we have to trust in the board that they're going to do the job they've been elected to do. And it's more than just water. Right? It's more than it's the infrastructure that we have to worry about. The fact that we're getting old and we don't move like we used to. Our pipes are getting old. Our sewage is getting old. Everything's going to have to go through a replacement phase. That's just life, right? At the same time, so are we. So there are different needs that we have. And I'm not here to tell you we shouldn't do a splash pad. I'm here to tell you that maybe we should ask our residents what their needs are and what their wants are. And we should go one step further in regards to our board. Number one, we should ask them to do the job we elected them to do. Number two, we should hold them accountable for that job. Number three, we should perform audits against the job that they do. And number four, we should do the last thing. If we're not happy with what the board does, we should do the only thing we can do that actually works, and that's called vote. Get out there and stay for the meetings and attend. And I have to tell you, I've lived in this neighborhood 23 years and I've been to this meeting 4 times. 4 times I came all because of those, I was quoted earlier, stupid yellow things that were stuck on our door that said nothing but raise the hair on the back of your neck, because it made you go look and you realize it was clearly a political movement, although founded with cause, a political movement for somebody's agenda. I don't know who and I don't know what. I can speculate. That's not my job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to ask that we switch some of this around on the order.
Comments, right?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have a series of comments to make.
I hope you guys will stay and
I hope you can
listen.
stay and listen, because some of this information is important. And we're going to open opportunities for you to speak to our professionals in the near future. I want to make it very clear that this document that you see here, that you probably got in right, posted on your garage door, it's been posted by somebody that has verbally stated openly that she's running for office. She has served priorly for office, and she will run for office again. So I want to speak clearly that a lot of this information here is misinformation. And so just want to lay that out first. I want to just give you a brief update on the lawsuit. I don't know if you have had the chance to read the records yourself, the pleadings, the answers. I know it's a lot of information. There are 3 reasons we filed a lawsuit against the defendant, the list of defendants. And the 3 reasons, number 1 is tortious interference, which is correct. It got dismissed. And it's still, court's still looking into it. But the assault and false imprisonment case was denied. What does that mean? The judge found sufficient evidence, right, to deny the dismissal of the case. Now the defendants that are posting this information around have officially appealed the case because they did not like the judge's result, an assault and false imprisonment. Yes, we're making a claim that we board of director members have been assaulted by these defendants. Number 1, we're here to serve, not to be assaulted. Okay? And number 2, there's a false imprisonment claim. Again, the defendants did not like it and decided to appeal. It wasn't dismissed. It's still in court. The $147,000 that has been claimed is still questionable because we can appeal as well. We believe that there are some procedural issues that were put in place, and we can appeal as well because we don't agree with the final judgment. And we can make that decision. But all to say that this is true. We've been assaulted, and we've been false imprisoned. Now, I know it's up to the jury to decide. Right? It's not up to me to decide. It's not up to you to decide. It's not up to a judge to decide because they only decide on matters of law, not matters of facts. That will be up to a jury to decide. Let's talk a little bit about the aging district. We, board of directors, have a fiduciary duty to this entity, to the MUD. What does that mean? We rely on professional information. We hired 2 top-level advisors, financial advisors, that do this job for 30 years. Not the person that's posting this around. They do not have any knowledge of bonds. We invited that top-level advisor, and he gave clear, convincing evidence that this is a solid financial decision for this district. Number 1, it will not impact your tax rate. Okay? That was very clearly stated. Okay? We are working this process through consultation with our attorneys, licensed attorneys in Texas. We are working with our licensed professional engineer. And the unanimous vote of professionals have been, this is a wise decision. We have an aging infrastructure that needs meters in place. We need to revamp our lift stations. We have very questionable water leaks that needs to be looked at. And the question is, do we use the savings of this district to pay for this? But the question is, what happens if an emergency takes place? Where do we go to fund some of these infrastructure issues that we're having? Again, we are an aging district. The decision that we are making is based on the recommendations of professional people. Right? The people that are posting this information around are not professional financial advisors, are not attorneys, and are not engineers. So I would encourage you to reach out to our attorneys, engineer, financial advisors. In fact, we had a wonderful financial advisor coming in the last meeting and gave phenomenal report about this district.
100.
See, the issue has been ongoing accusations that there's systemic corruption over very minor receipt that anybody can make mistakes around this issue. Again, you are welcome to contact our professionals. I would highly encourage you to do your research. Yes, and the people that are posting here are here, and they have been here for 7 years. So again, the information is there. If you need it, it's public, it's wide, it's open. You can submit a request. I personally voted in favor of the bond because I think it's a sound financial decision for this district. As to the splash pad, we're willing to hold a conversation about this as well, right? I have parents that have emailed me that are not here present today that are in favor of it. Some are you against, some are in favor of it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you voted for us to make a decision. And so it's going to be up to the board decision on the splash pad, on the lawsuit, as well as the decision of our bonds. So I just want to make it very clear. Please do your research. Do not follow modification. There's a clear political reasoning behind all of it. All of it. That's all I have to say.
I'd like to add that a few years ago, when we had a different board member on the board, and she was president, she had the chance to fix the problems that we had, to fix our aging infrastructure, and they chose no. Yes, I was on the board. That's not something. I wanted it to be fixed. We have the money to fix it, as Hanoi said. But if we do, and we have another bad storm like we had a few years ago, we will have no money to help you. We will have no money to help each person to do that, because all the money that we have saved will be going to the aging infrastructure that we have a fiduciary duty to fix. It has never been replaced. No more Band-Aids. That's what we decided as a board. Why would we do that to you? So I heard someone say there was poop on the ground. You know why there was poop? Because a Band-Aid was put on. No more Band-Aids. And it is touchy. I've been on this board for a long time. I have stood up for what I've believed in, and I've stood up for the residents of what they've wanted. On this splash pad, I was on the Parks Committee. I see 100, I've been counting, almost 100 kids at the park a day in our neighborhood at Anderson Mill West Park. They wanted a swimming pool in the beginning, 20 years ago. We didn't do a pool. You know why? There are 2 pools that are not very far away. But at 110 degrees, those parents want a safe place for their children to get wet. They've all been asking for it, and they're excited by the opportunity for that to be there. For those of you that don't have small children anymore, please think and drive by Anderson Mill West Park. Watch the kids play. See how hot they get in the summer. These are the people that have asked us to do this. This was a Parks Committee that asked us to please put in a splash pad. That was not something that the board decided. This was a committee that went out and talked to residents that brought it back to us. Okay? I don't know if I have anything else, but please don't think that this bond is something that you're going to get taxed on. This was approved a long time ago. You're not going to be taxed for this. Okay?
And Madam President, what I recommend is that we bring the financial advisor. May I speak?
Yes, you may speak.
What I recommend we do is bring our financial in and get financial advisor, and let's have a conversation with our financial advisor, right? He was here. There's not going to be a tax impact. Again, misleading. There's not going to be a tax impact. It is a sound decision. So I will welcome you to come at the next meeting. In fact, can you put that on the agenda so that we can have our financial advisor come back? And let's just engage in a conversation. These fear tactics that taxes are going to be raised are not going to work. Our meters need to be replaced. Do we want to put the district at risk of using all of our savings, right? We have history of other districts in Houston where they decided to use their own savings. An emergency came across, they didn't have the money or the backup to do anything, right? So I just want you to be aware of that. And I welcome you again to engage in conversation with our financial advisor, which has recommended this as a good, sound financial advice. Okay?
And I will say that this
Can we place that on the agenda?
Yes.
You are welcome to come and engage in a conversation with our financial advisor. Go for it.
And if you guys want the MUD changed, and you want somebody new, think about that, but please remember that what this is about is getting rid of our parks, not fixing our infrastructure. Right? If you only want it to be water, they won't be parks. That's why you all moved here, right? You love the parks. If you don't love the parks, we have, what do we have, 8? Why did you move here? I'm just saying, that's what this neighborhood's about.
Madam President, it's also important to clarify.
Order, sir.
May I speak?
Can we go down the line and then he can get, let me get
One
one
more.
opportunity to speak and then he can
You
speak?
will, we're not there yet. Chris is next, and then you will be.
Okay.
One more.
One more thing I want to make clear. We're not using bond money. In fact, it's prohibited to use bond money to pay for a splash pad, right? Bond money is strictly to be used for infrastructure purposes, and it's not going to be, cannot be used toward a splash pad. So, if you're thinking that we're using bond money to come up with some splash pad, that's also misleading. That's all I have to say. Thank
You
you.
cannot use it for a splash pad. Chris?
I'm gonna let David come.
And then you're gonna, after David?
No, let's go in order. Let's keep the process. Let's go in order.
He just asked for you to go first. Please go.
Okay.
I'm Chris Rocco. This is my 22nd year on the board. I have a business with $1 million clients that have been very happy with the financial work I've done for them. I can assure you that if the board decides to sell bonds, we're doing it for a financial reason. Everything that you've heard previously.
Madam President, can we have point of order? I'm sorry. There's ongoing disrespectful behavior by Ms. Fobb every meeting.
But I've just gotten used to that.
Well,
You
No,
know?
that's why we wrote
I'm
that
asking,
tonight.
I'm asking
to
point
not
of order
have
in
it
this
again.
room.
And there would be
Okay.
no more warnings.
Now, I wish I had the financial wherewithal to retire like Ms. Fobb does, but I don't. I've got grandkids and kids, and I still work. But if we decide to use the bond to make the repairs to the infrastructure, it's for a reason. And I think, I know I said it, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we use ongoing receipts to make improvements or corrections or repairs that are going to last probably another 30 years. So please, this bond is to save money, and I agree there will be no impact on taxes because of the bonds.
David? Cole, can you set a timer for 10 minutes? That's how much time I'm going to speak for, because Mr. Avila had quite some time tonight. There's a lot to go over tonight. Thank you. It's hard for me to follow up. Mr. Avila, he does this every Sunday, and is able to speak, but let me touch on the lawsuit. Let's start with bonds, actually. There was a little bit of misinformation earlier that the people will get to vote on bonds, and that's not true. Those bonds have been approved 25 years ago, and they're tapping into remaining money in those bonds. I believe that it should be up to the people of this district to say, yes, we need bonds, or no, we need bonds. If they're concerned and it's an emergency, let's put it on the ballot. And we could have done it this coming election. If it was such a high priority, we should have put it on this election coming up. And the people should vote. And if the board provides enough information, plead their case that this is why we need the bonds, then that gives you a good, you have the decision, you have the voice, you have the power. Right now, the power is up to these board members. So to say that you will vote for this bond is not true. Yes, our infrastructure needs repairs. And this bond money is going, and that's what they're presenting, is that this bond is going to go towards the infrastructure. But that is going to open up our yearly budget for the splash pad, for other lawsuits, for other expenses. If we cut out all those non-essential things that we do in this district and we budget correctly, we could pay for those repairs without going for bonds, or as much in dollars as bonds, 1 million, 2 million, but it won't be as high. I don't agree that it's not going to impact our taxes. Chris says it won't, Hanoi says it won't, but they're not financial advisors, they're not professionals. So I would ask that they put it in writing.
Our financial advisor wrote about it.
He is.
Point of order. Okay. Well, let's put it in writing. Let's give it to the people that this will not impact any future taxes. Because I don't understand how we can borrow money and not have to pay it back and raise our taxes. It just doesn't make sense. So please, make it make sense. Let's put it on paper and guarantee that it won't affect your taxes. You know, can we do a financial impact study on how much it's going to affect our taxes? If that financial study shows that it doesn't, then okay, good, great. But I have a hard time believing that it won't affect our tax rate.
We have it already.
Yeah, we have it already.
We have that
You just
already.
did it, you weren't at that meeting.
You missed that meeting.
You weren't here at that meeting. Can you speak on that, please? Because I think there's just
Excuse me,
misconception.
point of order, Mr.
Madam
Avila.
President, can we vote and
Yes.
over decide on
Yes.
the hearing? Okay.
Wow.
David, Cole paused the timer, but
Okay.
would you guys mind if Cole and I chimed in on the tax increase?
After I'm done, then yes,
Okay.
chime in. Mr. Avila is correct, that the bonds are not used for parks. They should be used for emergency purposes. But getting bonds will free up 2.4 million is what we collect in revenue to do those park improvements, to do the splash pads. I think we should do a comprehensive study on that splash pad to see how many people in this neighborhood have kids, how many want it. Just because you say that the kids in the parks want it, is not data. We should be data-driven and make decisions based on data.
We have that. It was already done.
Yeah, 5 years ago. It's outdated. Houses turn over.
Because this is a 5-year park plan, that's just a few years ago.
Point of order, Madam President.
There is a park plan published, by the way.
Point of order, Mr. Avila, I'm speaking. So it's just, there's a lot of issues here, folks. I can't talk on all of it, and honestly, I'm not in the mindset to even talk about it right now. So let's just move on with the meeting. Y'all have heard their opinions. Please do your research. When it's time to vote, vote. Vote to people that will listen. Thank you.
Madam President, could we allow our licensed attorney and licensed engineer to talk about this? We've already talked about it. There's not going to be a tax impact. You are welcome to engage our financial advisor at our next meeting. Ask questions, write emails, and so can you explain a little bit about our ongoing conversation?
Sure.
We've been really engaged with
I'll
this
give a brief
process.
kind of summary on how bonds work, for example, because there has been a lot of, I think, confusion on it, rightfully so. It's a complicated subject. So bonds, the bonds that are being discussed right now, they have not been sold. There's no debt that's been incurred. There's a multiple stage process for bonds to be sold by special purpose districts in Texas. If it's A to Z, the district right now is at level B. What that means is the engineer is preparing what's called a bond application report. That report identifies all projects, water, wastewater, sewer, drainage projects in the district that need to be addressed on a priority basis. That's been a priority basis been identified by the board and the engineer. And then what they do is they put a cost summary in of what those costs would look like and puts a plan of action together. So in this case, this district, while there are a lot of parks, you hear splash pad, this district does not have the authority to issue debt to fund recreational, to fund parks or anything like that. That's a lot of special purpose districts in Texas do have that authority. This one does not. It never petitioned for it, and it didn't get it when it was created in the 80s. So that's one point of clarity. The bonds that are being discussed in this bond application report, it's a rehab to the district's lift stations, rehab to the sanitary sewer lines within the district, the smart meters that have been discussed in the district. Those are all $1 million+ projects between those. So it is all infrastructure stuff that assists you with, measuring the water that you're taking into your house, flushing your toilets, no leaking in the street, the lift station, stuff like that. So how, again, going back to the bond discussion, bonds are voted on by districts one time. So it is accurate. This district was created in the early 80s, I believe, and there was a bond election, just like an election that occurred there, and the bonds passed at that election. There was one voter in that election at that time. That's how special purpose districts in Texas work. That's not an issue that's specific to Williams and Travis County. That's a state of Texas. That's how it works. You're required to have a vote, and so that's what it was at that time. So that authorization was, I think it was, I don't have the number in front of me, but I think it was maybe around $40 million was authorized. $38 million or so was authorized at that election. So since the district was created in the 80s to today, there have been, I think, maybe 10 or so bond issuances that the district has issued from that time. So the district's remaining authority from that election is around $5 million. So that $5 million is what's left from the authority that was voted on during the election. If the district sold these bonds today and had no more voted authority, it would have to go back to the residents for a bond election. You all see those all the time. You hear about it on the news. Bond election passes or fails for whatever reason. That, if another bond election occurs, that would go to the voters, for the voters, you all, assuming you were in the district still, to vote on it at that time to issue debt. You can't just issue bonds after you have no authority. And when you run out of authority and you do have an election, there has to be a reason for that election to take place. So the engineer puts together, typically you look at the district 25 to 30 years out. It's a capital improvement plan that identifies all the infrastructure projects within the district during that time frame that might need to be rehabbed, replaced, modified, anything that would need to be done over the time. And so essentially you look at it like a district credit card. It allows the district then to go issue debt for those projects when it needs to do so. So in this case, the district has paid off all of its debt. I think 2 years ago it made its last debt service payment. So municipal utility districts and special purpose districts in Texas, they have a tax rate, on average, most of them, specifically this one too, you have a tax rate that's set into two parts. You have a maintenance and operations tax rate, and then you have a debt service tax rate. So two components make up the district's total tax rate. You all, on your tax bill, you just see the total tax rate. So right now, that total tax rate that you're paying, on an annual basis to the district is only for maintenance and operations. So that money is for just district day-to-day maintenance, operations, repairs, anything that the district's paying for, it's coming out of that maintenance and operations tax. So when the board has said that they've talked with the financial advisor has brought in numbers, again, they'll come to the next meeting and can answer any questions that anybody has, and we'll be able to discuss this and show numbers. But what was presented to the board was the district, with its assessed value, which is close to $1 billion, I believe, and its current tax rate of about 27 cents, if it were to issue debt, it would take some of the pennies that are in the maintenance and operations tax and shift it to the debt service. So your total tax rate would remain the same, but some of those pennies from maintenance and operations would be shifted to debt service. What does that mean? It just means that those pennies that were shifted over are strictly for paying off the district's debt. That's what they mean by the district's residents aren't going to be paying more in taxes. I represent close to 30 MUDs in Texas. I don't know one district that wants to raise its tax rate when issuing bonds. No one wants to do that. Of course, there are instances where that happens, but that's not a situation that's been discussed here, nor is it presented to be a problem here. Hanoi mentioned earlier about districts that don't have large cash reserves for whatever reason, and run into a situation where if they do, so right now, for example, if the district has around $4 million in the account, operations and maintenance only, it's spending on an operations and maintenance basis around $4 million annually on its general expenses. And so if the district were to use money that's currently sitting in its accounts, let's say to fund all these projects that happen, then if a lift station failed and it was $1 million project, the district has no money in its cash reserves to make that repair. So if it's an emergency repair, districts are very limited on what they can and cannot do to make that repair. What a lot of districts do, first off, no district, I've seen this happen more in the 80s, but no district really goes through this now. You have to issue something called revenue bonds, which just means your water and sewer rates get raised a tremendous amount in order to pay off that debt that was issued to fix that main problem, because the district didn't have funds on hand to fix it. I don't think that will ever happen here. However, just to kind of talk about that, there's most districts, the view on issuing bonds and selling bonds for infrastructure projects in the district is that these are projects that are meant to last 20 and 30 years. So they're meant to last for not only the current residents that are here, but future residents who move into the district as well. So it's a way, instead of paying all of that money up front where the burden is on all the residents who are currently here, it's spread over 30 years for everyone to be paying over time. That's kind of the theory behind it. Again, the financial advisor can attend the March meeting with numbers, summary of costs and numbers, so you all can see. You can ask any questions. You can email me at any time, and I'll provide you with, or the financial advisor's information is also on the district's website. You can email or call us at any time for any additional questions. We're happy to answer them. I just kind of wanted to give a high-level view of what really a bond election is and how that's different from a bond sale, and how the district doesn't need to go to voters for this bond sale because that authorization already exists, et cetera. So now I'll kind of turn it over to the engineer to discuss the engineering side.
You took some of my topics.
I know, I'm sorry.
I pulled up the current draft of the bond application report that Westwood the engineer is preparing, and Cole mentioned some numbers. I have it in front of me, so I just wanted to present them factually. The district was created in 1985. The amount of authorized bonds for the district for water, wastewater, and drainage was $25,751,525. That was the set authorized amount. That didn't mean that it was all sold at that time, but that was the budgeted amount, approved amount. Since the district was created, there have been 8 issued bonds across the years from 1986, 3 times in 1986, 1994, 1996, 1997, 2002, and 2003. This would be the 9th bond issue to be issued by the board, with the remaining authorized amount being $5.81 million. Of the 5 projects that are making up the proposed bond application, there's the smart water meter purchase and installation, the Gamma and Sunchase lift station rehabilitation, sewer system rehab, water service line inspections, and water system line replacement. The smart water meter project, that has been going on since before I was engaged with the district. There's some history there, but essentially the board is interested in replacing the existing positive displacement meters with what's considered a smart meter, which is a ultrasonic technology and cellular water meter. So there's no moving parts, does not lose accuracy over time, and submits that data via cellular network back so that people don't have to manually walk around and read meters. The DeGama and Sunchase lift station rehabilitation project, that was identified during a facility assessment and capital improvement plan project that was done within the first few months of my engagement with the district. And so we went around and looked at all the district's facility assets, took pictures, baseline documented their condition at the time, reviewed the age that they were put in, reviewed their condition, expected life expectancy for pumps, piping, structures, electrical equipment, generators, whatever, underground water lines, underground sewer lines, manholes, all of your infrastructure assets. And of those assets, there were certain items that were deemed to be near the end of their useful life, and it would be a good idea to start looking at doing some rehabilitation. I think for those of you that follow historically projects that have been done in the district, there was the Hatch lift station rehabilitation that was discussed, deferred, emergency done after there was a failure. So the district has 3 lift stations. The Hatch one was rehabbed and completed under emergency conditions, if you will. And so the Dagama and Sunchase lift stations, which were put in about the same time, have some of the same similar indicators that some rehabilitation would be beneficial to extend the life of that facility. And so those projects have been presented on in the past. There should be copies of the facility assessment and CIP on the district website. If not, I would like to get that posted if the board would like to. But there's photos and breakdowns of the cost estimates as to what would need to be done to rehabilitate those facilities. Sanitary sewer system rehab, that is your underground sewer lines and manholes. Because a portion of the district sits over the Edwards Aquifer, it is required by the state to video and inspect the sewer lines every 5 years. That was last done in 2020 by the previous engineer. There was some documentation about things that were found. Some things were fixed. A lot of things were not documented and found at that time. 2025, we were obligated to do it again. So we conducted a cleaning and televising project with using a third-party contractor, advertising and publicly bidding that project, getting the lowest qualified bid. They went out and televised the district, every foot of sewer line, every manhole, submitted that information. We reviewed it, found areas that had concerns, cracks, fractures, root balls, tree roots, grease buildup, broken manholes, corroded manholes, things of concern that maybe are not immediate needs to be fixed, but things that you would want to replace, rehab, fix to extend the life of your underground sewer system, and that you're obligated to fix because you're over the Edwards Aquifer. So that is one of the major projects in there. Water system service line inspection. There's the lead service line inventory that has been pushed down by the EPA through the TCEQ to all public water systems in the state of Texas and the country, and in which case all service lines going into any user, residential, commercial, doesn't matter, needs to be validated that they are not lead. Not just unknown, but not lead. And so as part of that inventory that was due in 2024 or 5, sorry, I'll pull that date to be exact. We reviewed record drawings and any available information that was made available to us to see if there was documented proof that the service lines that were installed for various subdivisions within your district indicated that they were installed with non-lead material. Generally, Texas had a lead ban from 1987, which is safe to assume that service lines installed after that time frame were not lead, but there are some sections of your district, Anderson Mill West 1 through 4, where we have not been able to find proof that those service lines do not have lead. They're unknown. We don't have proof that they are lead. We don't have proof that they're not. They're unknown. And so the district is obligated to inspect and validate the material of those service lines. So there's money in this bond application to mobilize and inspect the unknown service lines. And then the 5th project is your water system line replacement. So again, some of your aging water system networks that have been in the ground for 30 years are reaching the end of their useful life. There have been some water accountability issues in the district. And if we did identify that service lines needed to be replaced because they were deemed to be lead, then that money for that project would be allocated in order to fix that. So that's the makeup of the 5 projects that make up the bond application. That's about $5 million of the $5.8 million bond package. That's what's considered hard cost, if you will, which is about 86% of the total issuance. And then there's, issuance fees. Just like any type of large financial transaction, there's fees, right? So there's legal representation fees, and Cole's group, I'm going to talk out of things that I don't really know, but they have to carry insurance guaranteeing the bond process. Your financial advisor has fees. You carry interest. There's a bond discount fee. There's administrative costs to issue the bond. There's the engineering fees that are documented in there to prepare the application so that it can be reviewed and approved by the TCEQ. There's a TCEQ bond issuance fee and an attorney general's fee. Those make up the soft cost of the package, which is about that remaining 14%. When the bond process was initially discussed, it was, I think, a $4.4 million bond package. And at the time, there was not a firm understanding of the remaining authorization that the district had. Cole reached out to the Attorney General to determine that it was the $5.81 million. And then looking at the delta between $5.8 million and $4.4, knowing that when issuing a bond, there's money lost in the hard soft cost situation, and knowing that the district had projects that are feasible and could be deemed necessary, it was discussed and with the board, with the financial advisor, to go ahead and expand the bond amount from 4.4 to 5.8 to go ahead and use your remaining authorized amount for projects that made sense based on the capital improvement plan. So that's how that final water system line replacement project got added to the package to bring it up to the 5.8 million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just make one more comment? Sorry, sure. Before you go. I want to make one comment regarding just taxes and tax rate and taxpayer bills. So one thing to note is that the district's tax rate, the set number that you see on your bill, that of course is what will not change, or is not projected to change at all. What does change on an annual basis, as you all know, is your assessed value through the appraisal district. So when the appraisal district goes through and assesses the value of your homes, if you have a year where the home value goes up, your total tax bill, if the tax rate has not changed, your total tax bill might be higher than what it was the previous year. And that's based on the assessed value. That doesn't have anything to do with the MUD. So what you've seen from the MUD over time is that when that does happen, the MUD tries to, when it's in the financial position, to reduce its own operations and maintenance tax to try to get parity as close as possible. It does. MUDs and all political subdivisions in Texas are very limited on, and I don't know how many of you all pay attention to state politics, but a few years back at the legislative session, the legislature essentially capped political subdivisions, school districts, everyone, from having essentially the freedom, the ability to just increase your taxes to 8% or higher. And so for you all, you're what's called a mature district or a built-out district or a developed district under this code. And so what that means is you all cannot raise your tax rate. If the average tax bill is 2.5% higher than the previous year, it would trigger an automatic election where you all would vote to reduce the tax rate back to what's called a rollback rate. So this district, since I've started representing them, has always adopted a tax rate in the fall when they do adopt a tax rate, has always adopted a tax rate that is in a position that is below that, 2.5, right? 2.5%, not in my tax mindset right now, that is below that percent to avoid triggering a rollback election. It's always been in that position. No district wants to trigger an election. They're costly, they're expensive, and it's not frankly, it's just not worth having an election over something like that, especially for mature districts that are built out and should be in a position to kind of shoulder that load. But so that is something that I just want to note, that total tax bills are based on the tax rate itself, which could stay the same number. In fact, a district could lower its tax rate, but if the appraisal district comes through and raises everybody, the value increases tremendously, which everybody's been seeing over the past few years, the district could lower its rate by a penny, your value could go up tremendously, and you could still be paying more in taxes. So that's just one thing I want to point out to make sure people think about that, is that it's kind of your total tax bill is made up of two parts.
And That's generally speaking, and as far as the district is concerned, like I said, I've been on it 22 years, and we have taken every opportunity to have the tax rate, regardless of what the assessed value has been, where the average tax rate is a plus or minus $100 per year, okay? And I have found out by some of the people that have more expensive houses than the average taxpayer, that could be more than $100. So I stand corrected on that. But for the average homeowner, we're talking about $100, like that's what it was around this year. But for the last 15 years, we've consistently lowered the tax rate to match the assessed values. The years that it went up, we'd have to lower it more. But we have kept it where your MUD portion of your total tax bill, and I think you're going to be real surprised this year when you see, or if you haven't seen what the legislature did, because it affected a lot of people, and it affected a lot of people my age, some of the retirees over 65. You'll see some of your county assessed values have gone down. So that's all.
3.5%.
Yeah, I want to and make sure we understand this. I think this is super important. And when we hired this special firm to look into the financial health of our district, we came back to be one of the top districts, MUD, in our financial health. We have zero debt, $4 million in savings, okay? And so this whole idea your tax dollars are being misused. We pay for bonds through our property taxes. Folks, this is politics. Linda Fabry, sitting there, is running for office, okay? Show up, speak up, walk out.
And then all these emails on the back, just so you know, that they're not ours. They're not for this month.
Pretty obvious.
Are there any more questions from the board, or comments from the board? I know we have a busy agenda.
No, I will say that I've gotten a lot of phone calls and people saying, what can we do to have them stop putting this up? You have to call 911 yourselves. There's nothing that we can't stop them from putting these up. We understand it's trash. We understand it's not real. Why is it happening? Go to the source. Ask her husband. He's the one that was videoed and sent to me several times. We can't do anything to help you. Okay?
With your taxpayer dollars, we pay professionals that manage this district. Please reach out to them. Okay? Motivation is not a reliable source. It's put together by a politician who sat here and governed and now wants to govern again. And unfortunately, no one wants to run for this district anymore because of the ongoing attitude for 7 years. I'm just being blatant, transparent.
I can tell you that
Search it for yourself.
That I did some research because of the harassment. If you ask around, you will find moms that are scared with their children. It's not just us. We had a fiduciary duty to do what we had to do in the courts. Most of you do know. Some of you do not. Do the research. Okay? And before we start the rest of this meeting, I just want to thank you all for coming.
Yeah, I'm just glad to see people in the audience. I really am. So
It's nice to have you guys here, good or bad, or whatever you think, or what you don't know. I'm glad that you're here. You can be mad at us, but I'm glad you're here learning.
I am too.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't know if you're going to call for questions, but back to the splash pad, I'd like to suggest, could you possibly send a mailer to everybody in the district? Because there's a lot of people that have no use, like that man that had a son there. He said, I have a kid, but I'm not going to use it. It would be very helpful because we never got asked if we'd like a splash pad, and we have grandkids visiting us, and we wouldn't use it. But the thing that I'm most concerned about, and what I mentioned about lawsuits, is I've been aware, and I've seen personally myself, people on splash pads that have been hurt, and ambulances have come kids horse around, they play. I saw one girl, she hit her head, a little girl, she fell down and she slipped, she hit her head. Another girl broke her arm. And then there's other splash pads I've seen in areas where they're not even turned on. So people in those communities, I guess, are paying for them and it's not being used. I'm worried about injuries, and we don't need extra lawsuits in our community either that people get hurt.
You're correct, and I can tell you right now, as soon as we get the scope of the project in, the first place it's going to go to is our insurance company. Because I want to see what they're going to say. I know for a fact that we use, what's the name of the statewide insurance that we're insured with? Okay, so the statewide insurance board, we get a special rate, but it includes that we operate a certain way. And if it doesn't want us to have a splash pad, there's a reason for us to kill the splash pad idea. So let's see what the insurance company says. I understand completely. I've got grandkids. I never want to take on more risk than's necessary because we get enough risk without taking it on voluntarily.
And I can tell you that this is something that's been discussed for a long time. It was the #1 thing in there, and it would be a shame if we didn't do what they asked us to do. This is what they worked so hard on. There was, again, board directors that would not discuss the park plan. When they got into office, they just shut it down. That wasn't fair. There was a committee that worked very hard talking to all the neighbors. We are going back and sticking to what the neighbors wanted. We will discuss it again. We will find out what it really costs. These are things that we're looking at to see if it'll work. It's a lot safer than a swimming pool. It's something that's recycled. It's something that's on the top of the list. And we have not decided yes or no.
And we will try to get a representative sample of the district voters in some sort of survey form to find out what sort of demand there is for that. Okay?
And we've had letters for both. We have people that want it, we have people that don't.
And there's a process to it. This is not even like approved. I mean, we have to consult with engineering. Does it make sense? You have to look into budget. So this is like really early in the game. Elections are in November, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we don't even know if this is going to happen because this election can change things. And so again, this is going to be a lengthy process. It's going to take over a year. But again, yeah, we're installing a splash pad.
Yeah. Well, you know, it would make sense to me to get the opinion of the people and the residents in this district before we take that year-long journey and all the money that's associated and the time associated with this project. Why not do the study first to see if the community even wants it?
We've done the study. We've done it.
Hold on, let me finish. You guys always interrupt me. To get the study, to get the... I'm sorry, Chris, you want to interrupt me?
No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. To get the study done, to get the demographics of how many people have kids. I walk these streets and I say hi to everybody that I see, and I try to get a feeling of who lives here, okay? But you can't just take my opinion on who lives here. I can't take Beth's opinion on who lives here and who wants it. It needs to be data-driven. Why don't we get this data so we can make the decision based on that? And then we can go forward with it. But I believe that that is the proper step to go.
David, have you read the park plan? It's in there.
Beth, how old is that park plan?
6 years.
Beth?
It doesn't
How old is
matter
that?
how old it is. It's used it, and
Answer the
you
question.
guys
Answer the question.
brushed
How
it off
old?
because you
How
didn't want to know
old
it.
is the
We're
park
coming
plan?
back to
How
what
old
the people
is-
want.
how
It's
old?
probably 4 years old.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Agenda items. Following the items are considered routine by the district and will be enacted by one motion.
So
No separate discussion.
We are going to break that off because the December 29th meeting minutes, we're still drafting those. We still need your minutes from the board. So
Okay.
we'll break that off and do the bookkeepers first.
Okay, bookkeeper. A long time. Bookkeeper? Do they want
Is it Renee? Is it Lisa?
report? Who's on? Everybody on?
Daryl, who's on?
So just with that bookkeeper report, if you all, as Bills and Invoices Committee, have met before, that recommendation could go to the board like you've done.
Right.
They haven't, they might not be on.
Okay, do you want to?
Because he hadn't done it before.
Yes, I make a motion that the bills and invoices, we have to have the exact amount?
No, you do not.
Okay. The committee makes the,
Hold on a minute. Have we made the rule that when someone exits the building as a board director, we're not gonna do this anymore. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
is he
You
gone?
wanna make a motion that he is gone, he has left the building. What?
Just work through the agenda through.
No, he can't come back. He can't leave, go talk to anybody and come back. So Cole?
You just don't want to talk anymore.
The problem is he's a board member. We're at the table.
So when he
Eat
comes,
all the time, you go get coffee, eat, walk
not
around.
leaving
We're not leaving the building.
He's in the
so
parking
when he
lot.
comes back to the building, moving forward, no more, can't leave the
Can you
building.
go bring him back, please?
Yes, sure.
Or he cannot come back?
Let's just, he's not gonna open it anyway. I make a motion that we accept the bills and invoices as stated by the bookkeeper report.
Okay, all in favor?
We need a second.
See, and here's the issue.
All
Because then we're claimed that we're being non-transparent, and one board member leaves the space. We adopted a policy, and then we get attacked for not being transparent and voting. One board member just left. You see what I mean?
And they should
In the
not be able to
situation
come
we're in
back.
right now? And it's over and over.
And
again,
he'll
it's
say he didn't
David,
discuss the bills.
Linda, it's the same over and over. It's really hard to govern with this kind of situation.
Then let's make a motion that when you leave the meeting, you cannot return. If you leave the building, you cannot return. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I will vote for that, yeah.
Thank you.
What was the vote?
For the record, David left the building, so that's why we're voting.
What was the vote?
To not let him
3 in
back
favor.
To not let him back in?
Yes.
Yeah.
This can't happen again. It
Okay.
cannot keep happening. Carol's asked me to do that. We've all already know. So she's asked me to make this at another meeting. So I'm doing it tonight because it happened again. I said if it happens again, we'll discuss it.
Okay.
It happened again. Okay,
I make the motion.
you seconded?
Second the motion.
All in favor? Okay, bookkeeper's report, is that what we're doing also? Yes, we just all approved of that?
That's
Great.
approved.
Okay, minutes for October 15th, we still don't have those done,
We don't have
correct?
the December one, right? It's December one that's not.
We don't have October either.
Okay,
Just
so
January.
it'll be just the January meeting.
Yes, January 30th, 2026. Can we approve
I'll
that?
make that motion.
Go ahead.
They
I
believe
make
that
the
you can't
motion to
come back.
approve the January 30th, 2026 board minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Thank
Can
you.
can I get, who seconded the motion on the bookkeeper
second the
report?
motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Okay. All right. so then-
Engineers
Hold on,
report.
please, 1 second. I need to catch up since you sent me outside.
Sorry.
Director, so who made the motion for David to not come back into the meeting?
So I made the motion. Who
Who
seconded?
seconded it?
I did.
And all ayes.
Okay. Okay, and then you just voted on did you vote on the October minutes or just the January?
No,
Just the
they're still
January.
not done. so-
Okay.
And we don't have December done either,
All right,
correct?
so, October's are done. Those,
You said
we
that
can
you're-
look at them.
Okay, then I'll-
December's are
They're
well,
pending.
once I get the notes from you all, those will be done. And then January's are done. So who made the motion to approve the January?
Did you approve? I think I made the motion. You want to do it again, make the motion?
I make the motion we approve the January 30th board minute.
Yeah, I'll second it. All in favor? Okay.
Okay.
Action items, engineering
Engineering
report.
report.
All right.
Fine.
First item on my report, you should have a copy in front of you. Daryl, I don't know if you wanted to pull it up.
Yes.
You're welcome to. It's up to you.
Did you send me the updated?
I'm sorry?
Did you send me the updated?
I did. So we did email out the report yesterday. There was some new information. We sent you a revised report at the time of the meeting, but the one that you have in front of you is the revised copy, as you can see in the title, Memorandum Revised. The first item on our report has to do with the sanitary sewer cleaning and televising job.
This one is here, okay?
Sorry, go ahead.
David, I'm sorry, you get your stuff and you may leave.
Oh, no, you're good.
How does that work, Cole?
It's a public meeting, so we can move into the seat as a member of the public. But
Can you
remember,
get your
anyone
shot,
who interrupts or tries to disrupt the meeting, or they will be ejected from the meeting. So if we could just politely ask everybody to just listen to the board. If there are questions, you can ask, but I'm just, please.
And we made a rule that if you leave the building, you cannot come back. And that is for everyone. If we walk out of the building, you cannot come back in. No other board member in any part of the state can walk out of their meetings, out of the building and do that.
I don't know.
Well, I have a question. Does that apply to the public?
No, that's
No.
different.
Okay.
That's very different.
It is, you're right. Good thing you know that.
Go ahead.
Okay, engineer's report.
Okay. The first
Okay,
item,
hold on, we just had another one that just said that, don't threaten her. So I'm gonna ask that Tina is removed. Can I get a second on that?
I'll second that immediately.
All in favor? Thank you. Well, I read it at the beginning and you're still sitting here. Please leave.
You did this to me. You threatened me. So
Because I read it at the beginning of the meeting.
I asked you, don't threaten me. I won't.
Tina,
Don't threaten me like
I read it to you before the meeting even started. Please leave. Yeah. Cole, can you call 911, please? Is she stuck out there?
Just make the motion, Chris, to keep her in.
Yeah. We're making my job very difficult here. I'm trying to
You
do
know
the
what?
minutes.
But
I'm
I
trying to do
made
every
a rule.
I know you made a rule, but that isn't a rule in the state of Texas. So
It's the Robert rules that if you burst out and it's not going to be tolerated, that we will ask you to be removed immediately. Robert's rules of decorum.
of order. I
Okay.
understand it. So you all can't do that. Under the government code, if members of the public are disruptive, they can be ejected from the meeting.
That's what I'm
Yes,
asking.
I understand that, but now you're looking to me to eject her and to call
Because we don't
911.
have an officer here tonight because he didn't show.
You have a warning, okay?
Go ahead.
Go
it's
ahead,
here.
Jacob.
all right. Your sanitary sewer cleaning televising project.
Right.
Apparently, our contractor is not that interested in getting paid.
Hey.
But Grant has been emailing and calling them. They sent us a change order yesterday. And they were like, well, there was more linear feet of 8-inch than this. And I was like, one, it's not a complete document. If you had more 8 and less 10-inch pipe, that's great, but if we're gonna add this, we're gonna deduct that. So, and they didn't send any of their actual final documents, like their affidavits of bills paid and no liens. And so there's nothing to process there. We're gonna continue to try to get this process revised.
Yeah, until they file a lien or something, let's just not pay them.
That they wouldn't make it very far filing a lien on you. So, but we'll obviously keep that open because it is an active contract. They have been made aware of your next scheduled meeting and been told that if they can get us all of their documentation, which is very clearly lined out in the contract, by March 1st, we will process it, review it, assuming it's complete, get it to you for March.
Would it help any to have a director call them? Not that you're not doing everything you should, but
I'm more than happy to give you their contact information, but
we'll talk about it later.
okay. Lead and copper rule revisions. Still waiting to get.
Yeah, this is my fault. My guy at Christian has been sick with either the flu or COVID. Nobody's told me what, and it's been out for the last 10 days.
Okay. Well, if you want to share that contact with me, we can run point on it, and I'll go sit in his office to meet him.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that.
Okay. This is similar to what we reported last time, but we did receive information from Infomark. 3 different residents submitted some documentation or at least notice that they checked their own service line. two of which we were asking for some actual documentation. I think they just sent an email, so we were trying to get a report or a service order or something, and we've yet to receive that. We did validate that one of those residents was not even in one of the sections that we are questioning.
Okay.
So while good to have, didn't reduce our number.
And the other two?
One, we have validation information.
Okay.
One we do not, and one was not in the right area. So,
Okay. And so what, is that section 1 through 4?
yes, sir.
Okay, and that, there was like no lead?
The section, well, the one that was
The
that's
one they
submitted,
answered?
well,
Well, that's good.
allegedly, but I'm waiting for documentation. Did I get that right? Okay. The next item is your Dagama and Sunchase Park lift station, which is one of the projects of the bond application. That project is in our final review. We'll be revising that as we finish the bond application report. Infrastructure Committee meeting, we did meet on February 9th. A copy of those minutes are attached if anyone has any questions. You guys authorized us to conduct the sidewalk assessment. Grant might not look like it, but he is slightly slimmer after walking your entire sidewalk.
At least it wasn't snow.
Well, 27 miles?
Yes.
How many?
27. I conveniently had my wife get the flu, and my 3-year-old have a double ear infection, and my 1-year-old had the flu, so I was able to avoid walking your sidewalks. But I'm actually really excited to share with y'all the results. Not really, I haven't analyzed with Grant the actual outcome, but I'm excited to show you how we capture the data. So Grant used a GIS platform on his phone. We built an app to record the longitude of the photos and score them on a evaluation matrix, and it's already uploaded in GIS, and you can turn on various features to filter the data. So I do know that you have a comprehensive review of your sidewalks. What we end up recommending or what you guys decide to do with it is to be determined.
Sure,
And we'll be compiling that, reviewing it, and when we have something to share, we'll discuss it with the infrastructure committee and bring it to the board after that. On your bond application report, I did write this very ambitiously yesterday, saying that I was going to send the draft to your attorney and financial advisor. I did a final review of it last night. I had some edits to send to Grant to edit this morning. I do have that revised version in my email, but I have not sent it to them. I will be sending it tomorrow.
Okay.
So please reflect that that part of my engineering report was a little ambitious. Item F, these are other matters. The CMU wall at 2012 Lakeline Oaks, we'll be taking a look at that in May. I don't think Cole has anything from DR Horton on the tracts of land. Item C, the Hatch lift station pump replacement. This is the section that I revised from the report I sent yesterday. If you recall, there was a concern about one of the pumps making a noise. There was a seal that was in question. That was since we were like, well, that pump is still under warranty. That pump was pulled, repaired, reinstalled, and we had been provided a list of service orders and a cost. We were in conversations with Liberty Civil about that. Liberty Civil talked to their pump supplier, their pump representative. Both of them said, whatever, we don't care. It didn't resolve Liberty Civil from their warranty. Liberty Civil said, look, we want to have a good relationship with the district. Send us an invoice, we'll pay it.
Good.
Oh, wait, sorry. In conversations with Daryl, as we were reviewing those service orders in finer detail, we noticed some clerical errors on the spreadsheet tabulating the cost, which prompted Daryl and I to have some conversations, and we got on the phone with Gerald, who was the operator who was on site during the time that this work was being done. I don't know if you wanted to take over from here or you want me to keep going.
Keep going.
So, they pulled the pump. They had heard a sound thinking it was the pump. That was in June of 2025, early June. Middle of June, there was a backup in the dry well that flooded the dry well. There was a power outage, in which case the pumps weren't running and the sewer backed up and filled the dry well. They were able to, I believe they got a call to an alarm. They went out there, saw the issue, got the power back on, got the wet well and dry well pumped down, looked at the equipment, decided at that time to pull the pump that they had heard the sound on a couple weeks prior, sent that for repairs, got the seal repaired, and then reinstalled it, I think, in August. And so all of those costs were part of the work orders that were submitted to Westwood, which I had taken to the contractor. Now, when they put the pump back in after having the seal repaired, there was still that audible noise. And talking with Gerald at Infomark, they then recognized that the check valve immediately downstream of the pump, which is also an item that was installed and under warranty, was clogged. They unclogged the check valve and the sound went away. So at this time, based on the information that I have, and I know Daryl and Gerald are going back and looking at their logbook on site and other factors and information, at this time, I can't argue to the contractor that this is a warranty item. If the check valve was clogged for a period of time, that would induce stress on the pump, which could have caused that seal issue. But the actual sound that triggered this whole event of thinking that it was a seal was caused by the check valve. And if a check valve is clogged, it's not necessarily a manufacturing issue. It's more.
Did you tell the vendor that?
I have not talked to the vendor since having conversations with Daryl.
How does something like that get clogged after going through the lift station apparatus?
It's pumping
Debris and
waste.
rags in the.
But I thought we had something that stops that before it goes downstream.
No, sir.
No.
There's no filtering system before it goes down, or no? It's just.
How do we keep it from happening again?
That's a $1 billion question.
Well, I need like $100,000 answer, because I mean, if it could happen again and we got to put a new pump in, and
You cannot stop people from flushing whatever they want.
yes, you can. And I think that, this gets to my thing that I want to do, is we need to have an education program, starting with the elementary schools.
There are obviously, and most certainly, and you're not the only, every single sewer system in the world is going through this. The biggest item is the flushable wipes. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these pumps are designed to pump wastewater. These check valves are designed to allow wastewater to flow through. Check valves do get stuck. It is the check valve has a lever inside where the sewer is passing, and it is meant to raise up when the pump turns on and close when the pump turns off. I think it's pretty safe for everyone to assume that if you're pumping sewage that has debris in it, that there are moments where it can get caught.
Right.
Okay? And if that is what occurred, obviously it's 6 months past the event, and Gerald is going back and looking at the daily logs that he wrote at the time. But once they unclogged the check valve, the sound went away. A clogged check valve, I cannot argue to a contractor, is a warranty item. That is a day-to-day pumping issue that happens at check valves and is regular maintenance.
And the root cause of the failure was the power outage. When they arrived on site that evening, PEC was working down the street because there was an auto accident that hit a pole, I believe.
And so it wasn't a scheduled outage.
No. So the lift station losing power is the root cause of the issue.
Okay. All right, Jake.
And because also, just a comment, the seal on the pump that was leaking, it was like a drip. It was not a faucet coming on. It wasn't a giant leak. And that lift station was inspected 2 days prior, just checking on it again, because we knew there was possibly an issue. We were trying to keep an eye on it.
Okay.
There's no way that the leak that was occurring from the seal filled up that wet well in 48 hours.
Okay.
It's just impossible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that it?
So for y'all's reading enjoyment, I did include attachments of the cost summary and work orders that we just discussed. as well as a topic that we discussed in regards to the Hatch Lift Station. Just for everyone's memory, at that time, the board was transitioning from Infomark to MLC. MLC had taken custody of the temporary pumps that were installed once the new ones had gotten installed, and they had taken them to their shop. And when you guys went back to Infomark as your primary operator, it was discussed that those pumps were to be returned. I think ships passing in the night, it didn't happen, but since then we have gotten those pumps returned. So I just wanted so that we have record of this meeting.
Have they been refurbished or?
They were temporary pumps that were used while you were waiting on your new pumps.
But they're still usable?
They're still
again?
functional,
Okay.
which is why they're being kept.
Okay.
They're cleaned and ready to just be set on the shelf to be used in case you ever needed them.
Great.
They've now been returned to Infomark. I just went ahead and attached the email where Daryl was like, "We got them." Okay.
Good.
So that nobody has to remember that we've got records that the pumps are back with Infomark. Last item on my report, which really we just put in here just to document. I think Grant got a call from a resident asking about, was it cable providers in the district? And obviously that's not in our scope, but Grant did a little online research and gave her some information. So, the resident, the information. But
Which reminds me, I talked with several other buds that have gone through ATT cable, fiber optic cable installation, and they all have indicated what everybody said was a significant amount of sidewalk problems where they put in the cables. So I don't know, did you notice any of it next to, there's that one on Astor Pass. Did you see that one?
I think that was the one that was spray painted.
Yeah,
red. Yeah,
right. I asked her to do that, and she said it happened right after they put the fiber optic in there. So
obviously we've got tons of documentation for all of your sidewalks. But to your point, I'm not calling out AT&T, but all of the what I'll call franchise utilities, AT&T, Verizon, Google, Texas Gas Company, all of those franchise utilities companies, they 9 times out of 10 will third-party contract somebody to go install from point A to point B.
True.
And those guys are paid to install from point A to point B.
Right.
And they don't necessarily, or they're not great custodians of your sidewalk infrastructure or other people's sidewalk
Well,
infrastructure.
I just hope that the cable providers budgeted in some paying for repairs of problem installations. That's my point. Okay? When you're coming up for a reason, there's no tree or anything around this, why all of a sudden does it rise 6 inches? Okay? All right.
I have a question. On the email written, dated February 2nd, we coordinated, who coordinated the pump stuff? We coordinated with them?
Getting them back.
Yeah, who coordinated, you or?
I was speaking with Kelly at MLC in Houston.
Okay.
They actually transferred them to a smoking facility, so they had to drive them back, and they are currently at the Nagama lift station.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's that area next to it.
Yeah, I saw it.
I'm just wondering how they got there. I'm sorry, I know this is kind of like off subject a little bit, but I didn't pick up why would they be there for?
In Houston?
In Houston, yeah.
That's where MLC's headquarters is, and their warehouses where they house all their.
Yeah, but we didn't hire MLC. Why would
You
they?
Subcontract.
You
No.
engaged them at one point, but you had a 6-month, I think, termination clause with Infomark. So during that time, when the hatch lift station was being repaired, the extra pumps were not taken, but given to MOC to hold under the assumption that they would come in their replacement, and then you all voted to switch to go back to Infomark.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, thanks.
I have one question. Did you guys get the answer on the exact time when the
street is gonna be changed over off of 620? We're gonna start building?
I dropped the ball on that, Beth. I will follow up on that tomorrow.
I get asked that a lot, so I'm trying to
I apologize. I'll get
give
on it.
people that answer, and I don't have one to give them.
That's
They
on
just
me.
all see it coming down, so.
Yep.
But yes, if we can put that back on the agenda again, that would be great.
What was the item to put on? Just update
On
on?
620, when the highway is gonna be expanded, because it is coming down this way, we just don't have a date to tell them.
All right, I'll add it to the agenda.
It's coming down 620 toward Hatch and
It will, so you probably see it at Lakeline, right? Where it's all starting to come down, so it's gonna come
Oh,
all
that
the way
thing.
down through Anderson Mill, west. It'll all come down through there. It'll actually come on down through Anderson Mill as well.
got it.
Anderson Mill Road.
I'm
all
on
those
Spider Road,
buildings will
so
all
this is
be
probably
taken.
going to be
So,
impacting
The
me.
best way I know how to put it is on the Austin side. On the other side, they're not gonna be touched, but on the Cedar Park side, like Walgreens, that will close and be torn down. So
Bush's Chicken.
anything on the Cedar Park side is gonna be taken off, unfortunately. I know. it's
You'll be
not-
leaving in a different,
It'll be weird.
yeah, you'll be leaving over on Lakeline and right here, rather than driving up to the north, I mean south.
Okay,
So-
new business.
Yes, sir.
Rescind
That's
district
fine.
rules. Okay, go ahead.
Rescind district rules, resolutions, and orders related to district policies and procedures back to prior to November 2020. And a lot of that is to be done,
Are you asking
Well-
for resolution or?
well,
a vote or-
right now, until we pass the contract with Infomark, I guess we're gonna have to decide who's gonna do that.
We talking about like a committee level, like
No, I'm talking about at contractor level. Define who's got them, where, you know, where are they recorded?
They're on the website.
They're on all of them are on the website?
Yes.
Okay, then I guess we'll just have the website committee to go in there, identify them, and change them back to how they were prior to November 2020.
Okay, are you doing this as a vote or?
Well, we might as well.
Make a
I
motion?
make a motion that the board that's here approve the rescinding district rules, resolutions, and orders related to district's policies and procedures to return to board governance prior to 2020, November 2020.
And then it starts up again when?
November 2024. We can stop there. 'Cause I
So,
don't think we've done anything.
so the motion is to rescind all motions and resolutions in between November 2020 and November 2024.
That affect policies and procedures.
So should someone go through, instead of making it a blanket all, should someone go through and make sure that there isn't one that needs to be?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
We're not going to say things like approve the minutes of the October.
Right, no, I just want to make sure if there's
Yes,
something in that time
yes.
frame that was adopted that you all
It's
want.
only going to be the ones that it's an ongoing for the future, not what's happening now or occurred in the past.
Okay.
Okay. I'll second that.
Okay?
So can we have, I have some questions.
Okay.
So, my concern is like voting on a motion without really knowing what are we not wanting to change.
Okay,
It's
how
kind of a
about I do it
blanket
this
rule.
way? I said that, do the work to identify the district rules, resolutions, and orders related to district policies and procedures to return to the board governance prior to 2020, to bring to the board to have a vote on rescinding them.
That's good, yeah.
Does that sound better?
That sounds better.
Okay. You got that, Paul?
Yeah.
And again,
Should we-
I'll change that.
So another question, do you see fit setting up a committee to kind of review that, or should we just?
Right now, we were going to put it, since Carol and I are both on the bills and invoices and the website committee, we were gonna do it,
Okay, sure.
okay?
I'm good with that. So,
Good.
yeah. So should we vote?
Is there a second?
Yeah, I say that.
Thanks.
Okay, all in favor?
And B, discuss RFPs for district contractors.
We don't have everybody here tonight.
No, that's true, I want to
Move
pass on that one.
Let's do that again next month,
Do we
please.
defer it? All right.
Yes.
Defer. General manager, operators report.
Water accountability for the period of January was 87%. We also have, I know we recently had the third party out here to check the section of the neighborhood where we believe that there was a water leak. We went over those findings of their report last month. Being that they didn't find any substantial causes of leaks, our operations manager and a tech actually just went out because we know that the water is evident in the outfall and just started popping storm drains and looking down and backtracking through the system with a stormwater map. They have narrowed it down. There are stormwater outfills on both sides of the street right here on Woodridge, where they did still identify water, and then the line kind of comes up. There is an outfall up here on Lakeline Oaks, but they didn't see any water up there. And then they also did not see any water at the next stormwater manholes here around the corner. So basically, the water is infiltrating the stormwater system somewhere within this area. Our recommendation would be to have a different leak detection company and target just this small area. We can look at some different companies that might have different technologies to be able to detect a leak coming from a main. It's just our recommendation. We know that there's water coming into the stormwater line. Even if we get a rover camera from our Houston office, it's going to be able to identify exactly where it's coming into the stormwater system, but that will not isolate and identify where the water is coming from.
So didn't we have somebody come in and do us,
and with his equipment, he was testing every single water meter at the property lines and every single valve, and he was not able to identify any sound or frequencies that would indicate a leak.
You know,
now, just from visual observation, we narrowed it down to this corner.
Okay.
But that does not mean that if we see, okay, if it's coming into the stormwater right here, that doesn't mean that right there where the water line is, that's where it's leaking.
Right.
It could still be leaking hundreds of feet away.
Right.
So that's why we don't want to dig unless we are really confident that we know where the water leak is. There is a chlorine residual in the water, so that means that it is potable water that's going into the stormwater drain. We don't have quotes yet. He just identified this. We don't have quotes yet back. We wanted to bring it before the board and ask, what would you like us to do?
Well, I would like you not to go use someone we've used before that didn't solve this problem.
Of course.
And I'd like to have work that's already been done by prior contractors to be provided to whoever's chosen to do this and show them, don't do the same thing again because we've already done this, because I doubt it's going to change.
Right.
This is something, you know, I had a dream that there was a cave somewhere and all the water, because it never comes to the surface and it's just draining into the cave and we can't find it.
I don't know if y'all remember, maybe a decade ago, the city of Austin had an 80-inch main that was filling the aquifer back up.
Right, it never came to the surface.
No.
Right,
No.
and that's what I'm worried that it is.
So,
because you will agree, 13% is still too high.
With respect to that, do you want us to get bids and bring them back, or do you want to approve an amount, a not to exceed amount?
I don't have
I don't know what y'all want.
Do you have some idea of what
Yeah,
not
what they
to
charge? They
exceed
do
would
it on
be?
linear foot, or how do they do it?
For this, normally it is kind of by the area, and since this is a small area, but I don't know what the bids will be.
Yeah.
I would think that you'd be safe at a not to exceed of, 4,000 or 5,000. And if the bids come back more than that, obviously we would come back with bids to you.
I hate to wait another month
Yeah, I do
because it's
too.
running, so.
It's costing us money every month. How about $4,000?
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I said $4,000. Not to exceed.
Do you feel comfortable with 4,000? I mean, I don't want to be in a situation where.
We're too
Yeah,
low.
it doesn't have to be 4,000, right?
Absolutely.
That's too
No.
high.
What are your thoughts?
4,000 to do what exactly compared to what was
What are
done?
they gonna charge us? What are they gonna
To
bid?
search this area right here
Right
on the
there.
map.
I understand, but how? Search it how?
The camera.
Whatever it takes to find the leaks.
Search the storm sewer system with a camera?
No. They can do that, but that is not going to tell you where the water is coming from. It
I understand.
could be-
But, so you're gonna run a
So-
camera through the water main?
No, I believe what we've asked them to do is to identify where it's infiltrating the stormwater system, and then trying to backtrack. Because normally the leak detection is done through microphone
Right,
equipment.
right.
And hopefully if we can isolate where it's coming into the stormwater, that then we'd be able to backtrack it upstream.
So the guys that just recently went out there
You didn't find anything.
and you said that they tested the meters and the valve locations, what equipment did they use?
I don't know the exact models and everything, but it was acoustic type of equipment.
What did we pay them?
I believe
And is
that
it,
was
did
last
they use,
month.
can you
I
find,
think it was around 5,000, but it was also a much larger area that they were
did,
surveying.
were they aware of the pipe material? The acoustic monitoring system works great for a specific type of pipe material. And if they were using stuff that's good for metal pipe and this is plastic pipe, they're not going to be able to triangulate it. There is vendors that have equipment that you can put that are better at reading acoustically and pinpointing leaks for plastic pipe, which we've got the files, right? I can tell you what this pipe material is in this location. In order to authorize you guys spending money, I think it would make sense to just make sure that.
Well, remember, we've done this several times.
I understand, so I don't think it's wise to just throw money at it again with a hope.
Okay.
So,
What would you suggest?
I would suggest ensuring that we're picking the right equipment using understanding the pipe material that we're trying to analyze.
Well, is that something you can do?
Absolutely, I think I have access to on your report from last month, the company y'all used, right?
Yep.
So I can call them, or you can call them, find out
Okay.
what equipment they used. I can look up the records to see the pipe material. If the equipment they used aligns with the pipe material that we have, and they didn't find it acoustically, I'm not sure you're going to get
anything different.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
I know they were provided maps of the system. I don't believe that the maps included the pipe materials.
So I don't think we should approve it now.
Yeah, I
Let's
agree.
just go that route
Do
and
that
then
first.
come back and,
Okay.
that's what I'm hearing, right? Because we don't know, so approving an amount without really having, so
Jacob, are you thinking about something else also, or?
Oh, always.
I know, I can see you just thinking.
Well, so the guys that you just hired and used, they charged you $5,000 for a greater service area.
Correct.
assuming it's a safe assumption that if we give them a smaller area, then their fee would be less than 5,000.
If they're doing the same work.
So, I mean, yeah, agreed. With the goal of not waiting another 30 days, if you did pre-authorize, let's say 3,000, tomorrow I will get the pipe material over to Daryl. We can run the trap on if they have the right equipment to check that pipe material. If they do, and they can do it for less than 3,000, we can hopefully have that done by next month.
Okay.
If they don't, and we got to go back to the drawing board to come up with a different plan, then we do that and we don't use your 3,000.
Okay, let's do that, because I hate for it to keep leaking.
I make a motion that we put out for bids, because you're not going to do a formal RFP.
No.
Okay. For the water loss detection, not to exceed $3,000.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Okay.
I just sent it to you, Jacob.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Next item, the streetlight survey was done on January 21st. There were no outages to report to PEC. The pond erosion inspections were also completed around, I think, the 20th and the 21st. There are photos and everything at the end of our operator's report that has pictures of each of the outfalls and the dry ponds. There are some repairs that are recommended. The Anderson Mill Pond, there is some golf boards that they're recommending to be replaced. They're those 4x4 kind of rubberized boards or pads. Also cleaning the trees around the horseshoe and washer pit areas. That quote is $1,976. There's also some erosion issues at the basin at the Cashel Wood Pond, and also to clear out the outfall pipe vegetation around there needs to be trimmed back. And then there's also a little damage to one of the gabion walls, those rock walls that are held in by the wire. Some of that wire has been damaged. It needs to be repaired. And then there's also silt down in that outfall. That quote is $3,602.
So and all that together, it would be,
Is this work to meet statutory requirements or district?
It's recommended.
Okay.
It's nothing that's, an emergency.
Well,
it'll build up over time.
Right. You want to just wait until Carol and David are back?
I can come back right now if you like.
We really want to wait for Carol also.
that's fine.
So deferring to 3,600 Cashel Pond?
Yeah.
Okay, Cashel Wood Pond.
No, it's not that bad. Okay.
Right. There's also, get back here. It's your annual stormwater management plan that Stormwater Solutions produces for you. That's also in the packet for your review. There's basically two kind of action items. The first being to approve their recommendations for the seventh year annual report. And the second item to comply would be to send out a flyer similar to this. This is what they put together as a bill insert for public education. This QR code down at the bottom actually goes to a short survey for residents if they choose to take it, which also meets kind of one of the goals for the report.
You can put a little sticky on it saying don't throw things in the toilet that shouldn't go there.
Yeah, I could ask them if they could
Flushable
add that
wipes.
to the survey,
Yeah.
or to the flyer.
Yeah.
A blurb right here in the middle.
Yeah, something like
Don't
that.
flush flushable
Yeah.
wipes.
Yeah.
I could request.
That aren't really flushable?
Yeah, they're really flushable. That's just costing us money.
It is.
you know?
For sure.
Yeah. But I do need just a motion to approve that 7th-year annual report and to send out the bill insert for that flyer.
I make a motion that we approve those expenditures.
Those what?
Expenditures.
And the report's already been generated and
Okay.
everything. So the only additional expenditure would be a bill insert, which I've requested the exact amount for that. I haven't received it back, because it's much, much cheaper for anybody that gets electronic statements versus someone getting
Right.
paper statements. So they still have to calculate that and get it back to me.
Okay.
What's the amount again?
I don't have.
And when does it have to go out?
The bill insert, I believe, could probably be approved at next month, where I can have an exact amount for you. But
Yeah, why don't you do that?
But we do need the approval on the report itself.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's put that.
We'll do
Let's
that, we'll do the reporting approval.
And we need to do something.
I agree. I make a motion that we approve the reporting of the, what's the acronym for that?
SWMP, Stormwater Management Plan.
The reporting portion of it. I make a motion that we go ahead and do it.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Okay.
All right. For billing for the period of January, there were 190 delinquent letters mailed, 116 tags hung. There were 0 disconnects due to the billing system change and the holidays. Would you like us to start our normal process back of disconnects, starting with the next bill cycle?
Yes.
I would like to say yes also, but I'd like to put in there that if someone just is not opening their mail and it's someone that has never had issues before, and it ends up being the same thing, I think we should at least respect.
Well, they've
Not
already,
turning them off.
they've already been getting delinquent letters
Okay,
and
so
the
we got
tags hung on the
Okay,
door.
then I'm
So-
fine, let's move forward.
Okay.
We need to vote on that, Cole, or is that yes?
Yes.
Okay, so that we make a motion that we are going to start turning off if their water bills have not been paid and they've received their delinquent letters.
Our normal disconnect.
Yeah,
process.
It's a normal disconnect process,
Yeah.
yeah, nothing's changed, yeah.
Okay, normal disconnect policy. We have returned to
Oh,
that.
so, wait, what do you mean, you turned it from after the
Returning.
holiday?
Yes,
Correct,
returning.
and the billing transition.
Sure, okay, we
You were
can
instructed.
try to do my motion to return.
So everybody should have the new policies. Thanks. Can I get a second? Thank you. All in favor?
We still have the couple projects that were previously approved, the park safety repairs. I'm still waiting on an update. I know that equipment is all being delivered to their warehouse in the San Antonio area. Everything's not in yet, so I don't have any updates from the project manager on when they're actually going to be able to transport everything up here and get started on that project.
I have seen them there a few times. I know things are moving. It's just,
Okay.
I've seen them.
Same thing with Park Protec. There was just some minor repairs that they were doing. They're still waiting on parts. He doesn't know when those are going to come. But I keep following up with him.
Okay.
A lot of it's coming from overseas.
Okay.
And
Now that makes more sense.
things are slow.
Okay.
Then there was also the repairs that were authorized by Landcare. Those are still in process throughout the system.
Okay.
Do have a few things for your consideration tonight. I don't know if y'all want to entertain approving our amended PSA. I know we've talked about it for a few months. I don't know if you're ready to vote on that tonight.
Well, Carol's not here, and I really wanted her.
Let's take it out for the next meeting.
And you owe me a project on that.
For,
You were gonna do write a computer program or have somebody write an IT program to show what expenditures have been done for the previous year for the items that are being no longer covered by your.
okay.
You don't remember that?
I provided you the data.
Okay. And broke it down by a category?
We'll
talk about it.
I can pull up the.
No, that's,
sheet.
if you said, I saw it, but it wasn't by category, it was all lumped together.
Okay. There is a quote in the packet for wastewater transport services to clean all 3 of the lift stations. In case you're curious, the last time that they were cleaned, the hatch station was last January, so a little over a year ago. DeGama was cleaned in January and October of last year, and it needs it again. And Sunchase, I didn't find any receipt that it was cleaned last year.
Wow.
So the quote is for all 3 of the lift stations just to be cleaned, and that's $5,828.40.
I am asking that we please, I'll make a motion.
I was going to ask, who does the inspection of that?
I'm about to ask.
Of their work?
No, yeah, that too, of their work.
One of our techs is on site to
Okay.
give them access to the lift stations, and they stay,
Okay.
because after they do the cleaning and everything, they have to ensure that the pumps are set correctly
In their work.
and in working order.
Right, okay.
So the floats are readjusted and cleaned. There's quite a bit of kind of maintenance after
I
they do
would
the
think it
cleaning.
would be. Okay.
Hey, Daryl,
Yes.
and this is probably a conversation we can take offline at the infrastructure committee or something, but you said, because the GAMA was cleaned in January? Like as in last month?
Last year.
Last year, January and October of last year.
Okay, so October, so 4 months ago. Okay. Should we, as part of the rehab job that we're currently doing, should we look at is it needing to be cleaned due to like build up of fats, oils, and greases? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think,
And that one just, pardon the term, but it's dirtier than the others.
yeah, okay. I mean, some lift stations just based
you
on.
might have more affluent going into one than another, right?
Yeah, but the thing that would make it dirtier would be, what are the constituents of the wastewater, right? So think if you were downstream of a Mexican restaurant, you would expect to see a lot more
okay.
fats, oils, and greases, or downstream of a prison, you would expect to see a lot of rags and all kinds of stuff in there. So, not all wastewater is equal, but since we're designing a rehab of the DeGama lift station, and sounds like historically we're cleaning it at least a few times a year, should we look at maybe some technology to put in place at the lift station to help break down the fats, oils, and greases such that we don't have to do recurring cleanings? Obviously, we can do a pretty quick ROI on that. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
are you able to pull like maybe the last 5 years worth of cleanings so that I can get a frequency and a yearly cost and compare it to a piece of equipment? Does that sound like a good idea? Okay.
Do you want to motion that individually? Because I do have a few other.
Let me ask this
Sure.
question. How much longer will it be before we will be able to replace these lifts stations? I mean, if it's only going to be another couple months before we get to do that, then we don't need to do this. But if it's going to be another 4 or 5 months,
If your operator's saying that they need to clean the lift station, you
that's
need to clean the lift station.
let's do it.
We've got a motion to approve that proposal for 5,800.
Right.
28, yeah. 58, 28.
Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay.
The final item is, I guess there was an auto accident at the intersection of Anderson Mill and Cashel Wood. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but there's a large boulder right on that center median. I guess the car hit it and pivoted that boulder, and now it's like 6 to 8 inches over the sidewalk. I contacted Land Care quickly, and he said that he could probably do that for less than $400, just to basically pull it off the sidewalk. I don't know if you want to, this was all via text. He went out there and looked at it before he gave me the amount, but I do not have a formal quote.
City of Cedar Park took that over. The City of Cedar Park owns that whole right of way.
There's in the agreement, in that licensing agreement, there are sections that have mud facilities in there that are still the responsible of the district. So the mud took over the roadway, there's just those sections in that exhibit. So we went back and looked at the exhibit to identify to make sure it was mud responsibility.
So let's make a motion that we will not exceed $450 for Land Care to come out and move it back into
Where it
place.
was.
Yes, and get it off the road.
Okay.
Can I get a
About the
second on that?
Y'all should get like a local CrossFit gym to go out there and
I'll second it.
Flip it
All in
over.
favor? Okay.
Thank you. And that concludes my report. Unless you have any questions.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Shouldn't that cost be covered by the liability insurance of the person that hit it?
We can try to get it back.
We can try and find Cedar Park or county
I was just wondering
police
if
report.
a record picked it up, possibly, if you hit a boulder like that, you probably didn't drive away.
Well, the last accident that went through the CMU wall there on Anderson Mill, there wasn't a police report.
Yeah, that's.
Somebody called a record and got out of there before the police were
But maybe they did on this one, which means.
Yeah, we can definitely check.
And that's Travis County.
Yes,
So
it is.
check with Travis County.
Okay. Are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. First one, Park Committee, including discussing the repairs. I think we've gone over that. Correct?
So,
Okay, update 5-year park plan. Take possible action on accepting proposal. I think let's move that to the next meeting, please.
Sure.
Discuss and approve repainting of pickleball courts. I think we hold off on that one too, so I can do that to the next meeting. Is that fine?
Yep.
Okay, discuss amending park rules and membership rates. I'd rather wait until we're all here.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's a big one. I think we know, but it would be better that we're all here. Okay, B.
Can I make a brief
Sure,
comment?
absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause I think one of the comments that were made initially was that we were only to do water in this district. And I think this agenda demonstrates really well that this district requires a lot more than just caring for water. Which is, I understand that's our primary priority, but I mean, we have to take care of our parks, we have to take care of so many things. So this whole idea again, that we're just here to provide water, ensure water, that is a priority, but we do much more than that. So I just want to make that statement. Thanks.
Okay, B, Information Management Committee.
You gave me a name of somebody that we're gonna go contact and,
Yeah, he works for us.
yes, and
Okay.
see if he's gonna be able to fix, what we've got now, or is he gonna try to sell us on doing it all over again? And I hate just doing it all over again,
Okay,
so.
let us know.
And we're gonna start doing it by looking at some of the other MUDs, other areas, their websites, what they have, and try to concentrate on what the residents actually use. I wish there would be a way to measure which portions of the website, how many times they were contacted, but we can't do anything like that, can we?
I can ask Touchstone if they have any type of analytics.
See what they've got.
Okay.
Because that should be easy to do if they can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can also give you some other recommendations for other districts.
I'll talk to Carol and I'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
Okay, Budget Committee.
We don't have any recommendations.
Okay. Deed Restriction Committee, I'll talk a little bit about that. I know that the moratorium was discussed. That was something that we all decided months ago that the deed committee would make these decisions. But from December 15th to January 15th, they were in place. No fees were paid for overnight reports. That's how that worked. Also, we also need to talk about, which he just left, but to go to the bathroom, but July of 2025, Postal Company adjusted the price of 25 cents. And then the adjusted price went into effect in November. So that's something that we've already done. I mean, we can't pick the prices on what the Postal Company does, so that is the price of that. I also, I don't know why I went to the bathroom now, but that's okay. So Lakeline Oaks, our lawyer and his lawyer, because we haven't been able to meet, like I said at the last meeting, we've tried 2 times to meet with Lakeline Oaks. They didn't show either time, but it's fine that they didn't. I mean, yes, we had to take 2 days off of work to do this. I think people need to know that we have been trying to work with them. We took the days off. We met when they asked us to meet. We asked them to meet. They didn't show again. But what's important is that the 2 lawyers, I do want to make one statement that's talking about lawyers, that we are paying this lawyer that's doing our deeds much cheaper than it would have been with Cole, so that was why we did that, because we're saving money. The 2 lawyers both looked at what Lakeline Oaks was asking for. They both agreed that that was not something that we could even think about doing. I thought it was interesting that the other
Their lawyer said that.
Their lawyer said that as well, and I don't think you read through it. So either way, it's off the board. The one thing I think it's really important for people to understand with deeds, with the
Madam
restrictions.
President, can we, point of order, she's saying liar to you.
But I'm not being disruptive.
You cannot,
Yes,
you
I
gotta
can.
keep the rule of decorum in this room. You can't be calling a director a liar.
I absolutely can. I absolutely
Now why
can.
is he speaking?
As long as I'm
I'm just
not
saying,
disruptive.
we need order. Can we have order in this room?
Can we have order, Linda?
No, you can't.
Okay, then please leave.
No, I'm not gonna leave.
Come on.
I'm not being
Keep going, please. Just
disruptive.
keep going.
I'm
You're
just gonna,
disruptive.
you know, you are, but we'll ignore that. Again, it happens at every meeting, unfortunately.
Tell the truth.
I am telling the truth. I've been at those meetings, and Lakeline Oaks didn't show. But what I do know is that we cannot make, these rules were set in place 20, 30 years ago for deeds. We cannot change the rules for each section. The rules were already put in place a long time ago. If Lakeline Oaks, from what I'm understanding, but they still haven't shown up, but what I'm understanding is they just want photos. If they want photos, they can hire somebody from the outside to do that. That's fantastic for them to be able to do that. I'm sure that we will hear something again. We have to wait for the lawyers to let us know what's going on. That's all that I have on deeds. Do you have anything else?
Well, I just look at it this way, if all they need is photos, and we're providing photos for other sections of the district, why aren't we providing photos for them?
If you remember, they want this long contract signed.
Well, I thought
That's what we're not doing.
Okay, well then, if the contract says take photos,
That's
all
not
it
what
said?
they're asking
Oh,
for.
okay.
Remember, you saw the contract?
Yeah, I
It was
did,
like
I did.
7 pages, yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I think I've gone over everything for deeds. Things are improving. One thing that would help, I heard that someone who's running for the board had said, David, you're a board member.
I'm actually a private citizen right now.
Can you show that to Cole?
Sure. First Amendment.
Okay, so
Just keep going.
I totally lost where this was, and that's was his goal. But what I think is really important is that
At least they're not
if,
assaulting you or false imprisoning you, so.
well, he's already done that. For deed restrictions, I'm just gonna make a comment. The past board members that we had, if they would stop telling people they did not have to follow deeds, we wouldn't have to pay for anybody to be here to keep putting them back in place. It is improving. We have not had to fine anyone. Everybody is cooperating.
We haven't harassed anyone either.
No, we have not harassed everybody. And most people go, we were told that we didn't have to follow deeds anymore. So it's interesting to me that deeds have been in place for all these years. Each section has deeds. People want them followed, but then they're told that they don't have to follow them anymore.
They're confused.
They're very confused. And deeds are in place. They have always been in place. Always.
And tearing down our signs or vandalizing are not gonna stop it.
No, it just makes people want to
Right.
get more upset. So, do you have anything to say on that, or no? For you guys? So, Waste Management Committee, they're not available to talk. Open Records Committee, do we have, how many open records requests we had last month?
I emailed you all the list earlier today, the spreadsheet. So we'll do that Carol always wants.
Do you know approximately how much money we've spent on open records request?
Out of order, please.
By the few three that usually.
I don't know. Let me come back to me. Move on. I'll try to look and see.
Yeah, if you could read that to us, that would be great.
It's not. I'm just pulling up our invoice.
Because that's something else that we're paying so much.
The
out of
the February invoice, which was just January services, was $2,600 of time, just Coach Rose time related to
$2,600 just in January, just for the record, for the public to know. And this is how many people that are?
We get requests from we have a total of maybe 7 residents in the district who make continuous requests.
And it's that same group.
Yeah. Modification.
No, you're wrong.
Again.
Okay, can we keep going? Keep going. Move on.
Security Committee. I would like to put this on for next month, that we do an RFP, please.
RFP for security services.
Correct. And then old business. It says update on memorandum of understanding related to sage management between Lake Vine Oaks Homeowners Association and the district.
That's the one that's been the carryover. You all remember after the last meeting, you all were going to have the attorneys meet. I think that's happened.
They did.
So
They did, and they're
remove
not.
it from the agenda.
It's not. Neither of it can work. It's not legal.
So we'll take it off the agenda.
Okay.
And then B, status of ongoing litigation, cause 251224, C480, Williams and Travis County Municipal Utility District, number 1, Linda Fabre, Tina Flores, David Flores, and Sarah Teal, and Court of Williamson County, Texas, 480th Judicial District. Anybody have anything to say about that?
I do.
I would recommend, it depends on what you want to say.
But it's public record,
Okay.
right? So they lost on both, all the defendants lost on both the assault claim and the false imprisonment. They didn't like the result, the outcome of the court, and they appealed, which they have the right to. All citizens are entitled to appeal any judge's decision. But again, case has not been dismissed. So no longer in district court right now, is in appeals court. But I just want to make that very clear.
We didn't lose. It got set for trial. It's not lost.
It's
All
been
right,
appealed.
Please, we're almost finished with the agenda.
You appealed it. You did not like the judge's decision.
No, we got 11, attorney report.
We have no update, nothing for you today.
Okay.
So just reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns.
No. Actions related to matters discussed during executive session, we didn't have it.
Nope.
Such other matters that may come before the board. Do we have anything else?
No, I've jotted down what to do. I think, so if you recall, what we're going to do is we're going to send the draft agenda out like we normally do for everybody for comment. Beth and I, as president, you as the board have initiated a policy where the president puts items on the agenda for discussion. So if directors have stuff they want to add to the agenda, you talk to Beth, and then Beth will pass it along to my office. That's a fine policy to have. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'd recommend when you're going through the website and looking through all the policies, if you want to keep that, because that was done in between 2020 and 2024.
Right.
That's one that you want to pull off to the side.
Right.
But anyway, we're going to send those agendas out to everybody. What we do is we always include the consultants, because oftentimes there are items that consultants need added to the agenda that it has to be on the agenda, and it's not going to go through Beth and the board, and oftentimes we sometimes don't have time, or there's a coordination, or if it gets missed, we're trying to avoid that. So we're going to continue that policy, and then Beth and I spoke. She's going to call me, before the meetings, before we post the agenda, to ensure that everything's on the agenda, and then that's what will happen when it gets posted. And that's kind of, just want to reiterate that policy.
I know you guys have both brought that to my attention, that it needs to go through me, and so that's why I called Cole, saying that some of it is not. So, okay, anything else?
Move to adjourn.
One last question. When we were all talking, and the residents were asking questions, I know you mentioned something like you invited the residents to reach out to the district consultants.
Mm-hmm.
If that does occur, are you directing Cole or myself or the FA to answer questions to residents about these subject matters, or do you want us to defer and ask them to attend the board meeting where we can answer them in the board meeting?
I mean, usually residents reach out already with questions.
Can you tell them to just put it in email form? That way it's recorded and it gets to somebody and they will get an answer for it. But they've met what Hanoi told them. They called you or Cole, but that way it's not obligating you to, make sure you got word for word what they asked for. And Cole, I know you don't want to do it.
I think Jacob's question is mainly, if we get calls from residents or emails from residents and they want answers and response, if we are responding, I mean, that's our time.
Yes,
so
right.
There will be a minimal cost, or there'll be a cost involved. So it's kind of,
It's two things. One, I want to make sure I understood your intention.
Right.
And that, we're servicing your intent. And then two, that if I need to bill you for that time, just want to make sure we're on the same page.
I think you should.
So if we get calls, request them to submit in an email their topic of conversation and then respond in writing.
Right.
Got it?
I just caution you to be careful, because emails are being spent like crazy just to attack anybody in this district. So just be cautious and wise on how do we answer emails and what kind of stuff we answer, right? So we want to be as factual as possible. Just want to be transparent and answer the questions that they have. I just ask you to be cautious.
Sure.
If the answer is, that's a director's question, tell them that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yep, my job's pretty straightforward. It's either
right.
Engineering factor or not.
If you feel uncomfortable that you ask something you can't answer, don't answer it.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, it is 8:01 and this meeting has been adjourned. All in favor?
So
funny.
So are you not wanting material on your property?
I'm brand new to the.
oh yeah. What do you use? Like, what? Give me an example of the question, I'll try to
Well,
picture it.
my wife's and my concern is specifically with the public. And got a lot of urgency to answer. I didn't want to use this one as the first one.
So you picked a heck of a first meeting.
Yeah, you picked a great
idea.
That's my only concern, because what I want to do, I will have all these people on there.
Okay, so you want me to put it on your door address?
Yeah, my wife's in the picture and I'm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
But anyway.
Okay, I'll put it on your door.
No, you're on the east one, you're right across the street.
That's
You know where Lexus is.
That's
Your wife.
right, that's right, you're dating. You live up on,
Okay.
What happened?
Hanoi is a liar. He's an ordained liar.
Oh, yeah. Man, he's fast.
Yeah, he don't like to share.
Send an email to the board.
Oh, he forgot his phone.
So if you send it to the district, we can forward it on, it kind of has a little bit more firepower behind it.
May I have
Yeah.
a suggestion also?
Yeah. I should keep that too.
Well, not me, I didn't do anything.
But if you
No, I'm fine. I just try to keep everyone in line.
I can sit there and mount live. I'm gonna bring a sign next time.
Jesus Christ.
I think it's just.
She definitely tried to kill our meat for sure. She made that.
But that would require finding somebody.
That, yeah, Google that way, I would like to know.
how executed. So I have the same problem. I'm on